We welcome you live to Garden City High School, where this afternoon the Varsity Media Sports Network presents this League One crossover showdown between the visitors, the Braves from Syosset, against the host Trojans of Garden City. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here. We're so thankful you were able to join us here for this battle of perennial powerhouses. And both teams coming off of rivalry losses as well, so they'll look to bounce back here today. The Braves of Syosset, they suffered an 11-10 defeat to Cold Spring Harbor, a game we had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. That was Syosset's lone loss of the year, so they're 3-1 on the season. And Garden City, they're 2-2. They fell to rival Manhasset 19-14 in the 137th edition of the Woodstick Classic, the highest scoring Woodstick Classic to date. Let's take a quick look at our impact players for Syosset. Today we chose one of their better polls, and one of the better polls really in all of Long Island, in number 21, Jason Singer. Singer's a senior Cornell commit. John Calabria, the Syosset coach, says he's right up there with maybe the best polls that we've ever had at Syosset. Big, physical, and really a force to be reckoned with. For Garden City, if we look at a poll for Syosset, let's take a look at one of their top attackmen. That's number 15, Ryan Connolly. The senior is Skidmore bound. He's got 8 goals, 3 assists on the season. A great finisher, a lefty, great hands as well. And he reminds head coach Steve Fennell, when he's around the cage, a little bit of Justin Gutterding, and we saw the career that Gutterding had here as well as at Duke. Let's take a quick look at the starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Syosset, they roll out the same lineup they did in that loss against Cold Spring Harbor. See the attack of Alexander Buetti and Garone. First midfield of Nick Accardo, Dylan Stadler, and Steven DiStefani. Close D of Singer, Catolo, and Chiato. In goal, Joey Greco, and at the face-off X, Luca Accardo. Head coach, we mentioned before, for Syosset, John Calabria, in his 22nd season, 1989 graduate of Sachem High School. And here are the Trojans of Garden City, also an unchanged lineup. It's Connolly, Downey, and Engelke up front. Seal, Schmidt, and O'Connor are your first midfield line. The close D of Costello, Staub, and Kephart. In goal is Drew Quinn. At the face-off X is Jack Cascadin. For head coach Steve Fennell, in his 15th season at the helm, a 1991 graduate of Garden City High School. So we are about set to start. This one should be also one of the fun individual matchups will be at the face-off X with Cascadin against Accardo. A clear difference in styles where Cascadin is 6'2", 210. Accardo, smaller of the two, certainly, but styles are what makes fights sometimes, they say, all right? So it should be a fun one. So it's Accardo in the dark jersey and Cascadin in the white. The glare, significant here this afternoon. We'll see how that affects the goalies. And Syosset wins that opening face-off, and they'll get their attack started. That was Nick Accardo. Took a glance. He'll work the ball around. There is Nick Accardo. Stevens Tech, 3-year varsity player. And there is Buetti. Again, just working the ball around the perimeter right now for the Braves on their first attack. Now they'll look to dodge. Archer, the short stick D midi, along with Mike DeLuca. Lefty attempt high over the cage by DiStefani. First shot attempt for either team. Alexander pumps the brakes as the double came, and they'll kick it back out again. Good job by DeLuca with the stick check. There's Alexander. He'll push it back out. Quick pass inside and losing control. Ground ball picked up by the Trojans, and they'll look to push. We could see certainly in that game Saturday, that 137th edition of the Woodstick, that Garden City is able to score goals in bunches. And they did that, scoring 14. A failure to advance, though, for the Trojans, and Syosset looks to go back on attack. It is traditionally a matchup of a team in Syosset that likes to get the early offense. They like to push the pace. And Garden City more of that grinded out on the attack team. A team reliant on their stingy defense. Accardo looks to dodge. Draws a double. Good look down low. Buetti shot. And that's a nice save. First save of the day for either goalie. Drew Quinn came up with it. And now GC does get in, and they can start on their attack. That's Luke Schmidt, 16. And he'll hand it off to Bobby Seal. Seal, a senior with 5 goals, 4 assists, the guy who could just basically run all day long. Shot. And that's a save by Greco. So each goalie with a save to start things out. Here comes Syosset. It's Accardo. He goes back to X, where Alexander hands off. And Alexander unable to get that pass from Buetti. And again, you kind of wonder if the sun isn't a factor, and you could see the glare on the field is pretty significant. Garden City looking to go quick offense, and they'll turn the ball right back over as well. So turnovers, the story early on, really for both teams. In these first 4 minutes. Some field maintenance as the pylon in the end zone opposite our there it is. Had to be fixed. That's Brendan Brotman looking for the ball, 11. Greco still has it. Greco continues. Gets the pass, and now Greco will scamper back to his cage. Syosset does get in, but you see the double and great pole work. Loose ball. And there's a whistle. It'll be Garden City ball. So Greco safely back in his cage after that adventure up the middle of the field. There's Archer. Gets in, hands off to Seal, and now Garden City will look to try and take the lead. Seal with the ball. Faked his look down low, back to Schmidt. Many in the crowd here with hands over their eyes. What a pass by Seal! And there's the opening goal, Tommy Engelke. It's 1-0 Garden City. You credit Seal with the great pass, and we'll take another look. We're having some issues with our replay system, but it was a fantastic pass by Seal, and Engelke able to finish at the crease. So Engelke's 6th goal of the year. For Seal, his 5th assist. Clean win for Cascadon. Cascadon coming off a couple goals against Manhasset, and he adds to his total. So clean face-off win and the goal for Cascadon. 3 goals on the year now, back-to-back goals for Garden City. And we go back to the face-off X. And another for Cascadon. This time he looks to hand off. The pass was intended for Engelke. They're able to track down the ball in the corner. Good hustle there by Downey. Stevie Fennell hands off. This now the second midfield unit we see going at number 8 is on. Stevie Fennell as well. Wrapping around the cage, and the finish is Ryan Connolly. 3 quick goals for Garden City, and the Trojans lead it 3-0. 3 different goal scorers as well, with 6:12 left in the first quarter. Let's take a look at this one, as it's just a simple case of beating your man. The double comes late, and Connolly with the finish. Syosset wants to talk things over, and will take the timeout with them as well. 6:12 left in the first quarter. Garden City leads Syosset 3-0. You're watching this League One crossover showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. Oh, he's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you back to Garden City. Dylan Butler here. We're thankful that you're able to join us on the Varsity Media Sports Network. A warm, late May? No, we're in mid-May still. Warm mid-May day here in Garden City. Certainly a lot warmer than the last time these two teams met. That was back on March 20th in 2018. 11-5 was the win for Garden City. Cole Dutton with 3 goals. Liam Muldoon with a pair. Terry Dolan with 7 saves to lead the Trojans. Accardo goes low. And a good ground ball scooped up by Luca Catolo. And it'll be a we'll go the other way. Oh, we got to start a little bit further. That's what it was. A little further back. So both face-off men are now 2 of 2. Or 2. With 2 wins each, I should say. There's And Nicky Accardo getting the ball from his brother, Luca. So now Syosset, they're coming off really their first bit of adversity this year in that 11-10 home loss to Cold Spring Harbor. So this will be an interesting test to see how they respond. And already adversity in this game. A 3-0 deficit. Ground ball scooped up by Buetti. Little stutter step, a quick pass back to X. Alexander looks to feed from there. First flag of the day. So a man-up opportunity coming for Syosset. Spinning to the outside, Alexander looking for options. Good pass to Buetti. Oh, and what a save. A kick save and a beauty by Quinn. So Quinn comes up big. His second save of the game, and here you see it. There you see the flag. Be a 30-second infraction against Pierce Archer, so a quick man-up opportunity for Syosset. They certainly have the horses, though, to capitalize. Ball pushed up top. That was Garone. Shot was wide of the mark. Dylan Stadler with the attempt. 9 seconds left on the man-up opportunity, and Syosset going a little bit too fast. I think there was someone on the sideline. The referee, I think, got his lines mixed up, thought he was on the field. Sidearm shot, that's blocked in front. A penalty's up, and look at that diving attempt. But it will stay with Syosset. What an effort, though, by James Costello, 33. Passing the crease. And there's a response by Buetti. So Buetti gets Syosset off the Schneid and cuts their deficit to 3-1. Here's a look at the replay. There's the pass, and Buetti just kind of snuck in between a pair of defenders to score his 8th goal of the year. Let me go back to the face-off X again. Both Accardo and Cascadin are 2 of 4 from the X to this point. Cascadin tries to push it back. Ground ball scooped up by Costello, so a win for Cascadin, and Garden City look to get on the attack. There's Seal racing in. Ducks under, but he actually stepped out. He tried to duck under the check of Devin Lefkowitz, but in doing so, he stepped out of bounds. So that's usually the mistake that you'd see from a visiting player, unfamiliar with the settings. So Syosset will look to capitalize here. 3:27 left in this first quarter. Nicky Accardo hands off to Buetti, who just put the Braves on the scoreboard. There's Stadler, sophomore, transferred back in from Long Island Lutheran, where he played as a freshman. The dodge comes from Accardo, and he met a brick wall in Pierce Archer. They'll work it to X. Garone. Alexander now. Here comes the double. Alexander spins out of that. Head on a swivel, pushes it back out top. Looking to dodge now is Stadler. Switches hands to Nicky Accardo. Again, they try to pass it to crease. Boetti. That shot looked like it was saved by Quinn. His third save of the quarter. But again, Garden City having issues. You saw it tiptoeing along the sideline was Brendan Staub as Steve Fennell calls timeout. Here's again that save. And you see the ground ball, and it looks like Garden City ready to clear, right? But then Syosset with more of a ride than we've seen certainly in recent games, and Garden City having some issues with that. There's a good look at the Garden City bench. And Steve Fennell right in the middle of that huddle. Played for Mike Pressler at Duke, was a captain of the 1995 team. Spent 2 years as a Duke assistant. Went to the Final Four in 1997. There's Steve Fennell, coached at Mepham for a couple years with John Campbell, and then he coached JV here at Garden City in 2002 with the late, great Tom Flatley and John Scorsia. He was Doc Doherty's assistant from 2003 to 2006 before he was named head coach. So all those names we mentioned to you there, from Pressler to Doherty, and certainly Fennell has been well coached, and he's handing that down to these Trojans. And Garden City looking again to bounce back. They did well to rebound from their first loss. They had back-to-back wins against Conference 1 standout teams in Farmingdale and Massapequa before losing to Manhasset. Now under 2 to go in this first quarter, Garden City looks to tack on to their lead. Seal, quick step, but right into this stick of Joey Greco, his second save. So both goalies coming up big early on. And here come the Braves. They look to double. Boetti with the catch, a little scoop handoff. 90 seconds left in this first quarter. 3-1 the score in favor of Garden City. The Trojans scored the first 3 goals. And now it's 2 in a row for Syosset. That was quite a finish. Tough to see from here. I think it might have been Di Stefani, right? 22. But he had some space and some room and buried that shot. For Di Stefani, number 22, his 6th goal of the year. The big, strong righty. A kick called on the face-off, so it'll be a win for Garden City. 1:15 left. Braves have done well to come right back in this one. Here, see that shot again. So Cascadon with now a 4-2 edge in shots as we're under a minute left in this low-scoring first quarter. I think Saturday it was like 8-6 or something at this point. Here comes Schmidt. Schmidt, sidearm high shot was over the cage. 34 seconds left. Engelke provides the screen for Downey, who kicks it back out to Schmidt. 22 seconds. Schmidt just walks down. And now we'll start a jog with 12. He starts his movement there. Beats his defender. Works it back to X. Quick pass to the crease. That one's blocked. Another pass. Oh, what a save by Greco. Looks like he was hurt on that shot. But a save at the buzzer. Greco is down. He makes his third save as this quarter comes to an end. So Garden City with the first 3 goals of the first quarter. Syosset has responded with 2 in a row. You're watching this League One crossover showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. Oh, he's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. And one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you back to Garden City. 12 minutes in the books. A 1-goal advantage for Garden City as Syosset breaks their huddle. We'll keep an eye out for number 13, Joey Greco. Made a big save to end that quarter and then appeared to injure himself on it. But Greco is a gamer. He's a senior. Really missed out on the chance to get recruited last year. Obviously with the pandemic and his junior season, that was a huge opportunity lost for everybody on Long Island, obviously, but also for Greco. So he'll go to IMG Academy next year for a PG year. And John Calabria expects him to be playing on a very high level collegiately the year after. So Accardo with the faceoff win, and Syosset, after closing out the first quarter on back-to-back goals, will look to tie the score for the first time. Stadler hands off. Certainly the Braves have been battle-tested. So many of their games have been close ones. 3 of their 4 coming down to the wire, including that 11-10 overtime loss on Friday. Accardo backs up, and he'll look to shift into gear now. Swims to his left, not there, hands off. A little stutter step by Brotman. Works it back to X. Quick movement there. Garone sealed off. He'll try to wrap around. 3 pulls around him, and Garone still finishes. What an individual effort by Danny Garone. His 9th goal of the year. The senior, he can dodge from X, he can dodge from the wings, and we saw there as well where he's able to take on several defenders and still finish. So this game of runs, here you see it again. 3 defenders around him and still wins it. Accardo, another faceoff win. Here come the Braves looking for their first lead of the game. Accardo with back-to-back faceoff wins to start this second quarter, and now both of those technicians, Accardo and Cascadin, tied at 4 apiece from the faceoff X. We thought that would be a fun matchup, and it's certainly living up to it. That an errant pass, ball on the carpet, scooped up there by Archer. Archer hands off, and now Garden City look for an unsettled situation. And a little scoop of a shot attempt by Downey. And both teams struggling to catch the ball. Crease pass. Great job by Greco. Being aggressive out of his cage or on his crease. Hands off. So he looks none the worse for wear after that apparent injury to end the first quarter. There's the handoff to Jack Hine, the senior defensive midfielder. And now Syosset, another bite at the apple, another chance to take the lead. DiStefani to Nicky Accardo. They'll work it to X again. And Alexander hands off from there. Garone. Now they work to the crease. That one unable to connect. Ball picked off, and now here come the Trojans. Crease pass, that shot. Oh, and what a save by Greco. And stepping into the crease. I thought Downey stepped in the crease, but instead they called a push. And again, here's a look. The pass goes to the crease, and another great stop by Greco, his fourth of the game. The Trojans work it to X now. That's Connolly. Lowers the shoulder, his shot wide of the mark, and look at Greco. He is on his game. Greco speeds back there, no backup because Greco won that race. There's Zuleta, the sophomore. Hands off, and that's Brendan Brotman. For Stadler. The numbers for Syosset, when you add in the glare and the sun that's directly not only in our eyes but in all the spectators' eyes, it makes it a little bit difficult, those red numbers and the black jerseys. So we apologize in advance for any future misidentifications. We know that's Alexander, though. Providence-bound senior flips. And they'll again look for Mex. 7:12 left, first half, a game of runs. And another attempted pass. That was Ethan Kotler on the second midfield. And these cross-crease passes really for both teams aren't paying off necessarily. Fighting his way through. That was his shot. And Quinn looks to scoop it up with Garone in front of him. So you see a bit of a ride now from Syosset. They back off a bit, but they will make it hard for Garden City to get over. Quick passes. There's Seal. Seal, it's a good clearance. And now Garden City on attack. Both of these teams looking to bounce back from rivalry losses. Garden City here in front of a huge crowd on Saturday afternoon fell to Manhasset in the 137th edition of the Woodstick. That was a high shot, and there's a late flag, so it'll be Garden City's first man-up opportunity. Luca Catolo was guilty of the infraction, an elbow. There you see that hit, or a hit from behind for Catolo. So first man-up opportunity for Garden City. Syosset unable to cash in on theirs. And it's a 1-minute penalty against Catolo. Garden City has one of the better scoreboard setups where they have the penalty and the time on their scoreboard, so it makes it easier to certainly count down how much is left on the extra man. Good pass on, again, Connolly unable to corral it. There's a pass from Going. 30 seconds left, man up. So if Syosset can get the clear, then they'll be in business. And you can hear, I think, at least from the opposite side, Calabria screaming for a timeout. Good one to use there, too, because there's 22 seconds left on Catolo's penalty. We'll take the timeout with them as well. 5:13 left first half. We are tied at 3 in this League One crossover showdown on the Varsity.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media. And 03-2050, varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Garden City. There's a good look at John Calabria and his coaching staff. Calabria in his 22nd season as a Syosset head coach. And off the timeout, Syosset will have the ball, and you can see pretty much right there at that scorer's table, and you can see Catolo on a knee. He's got 22 seconds more to serve out his penalty, and it will be pretty easy going, it looks like now, as Accardo gets in. So really, he could just get to X, run around a little bit. 8 seconds, he will be able to clear off this penalty. So both teams 0 for 1 on the man up. Catolo is out, and we are even. 4:45 left in the first half. We are tied at 3. Garden City raced out to a 3-0 lead. Garden City, Syosset responded with 3 in a row of their own. Another chance to take their first lead of the game. Accardo, Nicky Accardo, that is, 2. There you see him on the ball now. That dirty worker, does all the little things great. He's not a flashy guy. Kind of leaves that for the Alexanders and Boettis. He also doesn't have tremendous speed, but he's got that great lacrosse IQ. Look at that handoff, and look at a save by Quinn as well. Good pass by Alexander. But you could see Di Stefani stopped by Quinn. So both goalies, and there's a failed clearance, and again, it's that kind of, it's not that super aggressive ride. It's one, though, that Garden City's got to think and react well when they get close to the midfield line, and it's another turnover off of that. I was going to say, though, both goalies now with 4 saves. Every stat just about imaginable is even, as well as, of course, the score. Di Stefani was jumping up and down, looking for the ball, gets it now. He's got the short stick matchup. the double come, spins off that, goes goal line extended for Alexander, and he loses the ball. Archer hands back to Quinn. So it's been a slugfest thus far. And again, Garden City will try to clear Seal. And did he step over, or did they get the timeout first? Thought he went over and back, but Fennell, it appeared like he had called the timeout. And a very good call, certainly, for Garden City, because that was a dangerous pass for Seal. So 2:58 left. Garden City will be on attack. And when you talk about the Trojans, certainly one of the powerhouse programs, not only on Long Island, but throughout the country as well. It has been a bit of a struggle early on, and again, we've mentioned it multiple times this season, but so many of those guys you see in white in that huddle are just kind of getting the lacrosse legs under them. They had that long run through the playoffs, which ultimately led to another football county championship, but really their first practice, or one of their first practices as a group, was just a walk through the day after the county football championship, and then all of a sudden they've got to step on the field against a Port Washington team that had been practicing throughout the preseason. So no excuses certainly for them. Then you add on to that tragic fire that cost the lives of Molly Madigan and her parents, and it's a loss that was felt deeply by this Garden City community. Molly was a senior, well liked, and it has hit this program hard. I believe today is one of the first 2 days or the second day of a wake. I think the funeral is tomorrow, so it has been a rough week plus for this community as they look to heal from that loss. Here's Stevie Fennell, the sophomore. Hands off, going. Scrappy, tough hustler. And now Fennell takes a few steps back. He's got great size and speed, physicality as well. Quick pass to going, gets it right back, and he'll reverse course. Now there's some cutters to the cage. Some big boys at that as well. Connolly, shot and a goal. So Connolly with the finish, our first goal in a while, his second of the game. And Garden City goes back in front 4-3. Connolly now on 10 goals on the season. The leading goal scorer for the Trojans. Great cut there. One of the captains of this team. When we talk about having to work through situations, Connolly, one of those guys who's been so instrumental and kind of leading by example and guiding those teammates of him. A win by Cascadon. His fifth. Here's another look at that goal. See the pass. Lower Connolly. Now, minute 40. Can Garden City continue the trend of goals in bunches? They started this game with a 3-0 lead, and then Syosset scored 3 straight. And Connolly, who's got the ball now, just put his team back in front. Good first step by Connolly, the pass to the crease. And again, it doesn't connect. And it's a turnover for Garden City. They'll look now to apply some pressure on a ride. So they look to give Syosset a bit of a taste of their own medicine as we approach 1 minute left in this first half. Catolo harassed by Connolly. Catolo gets over midfield, and he also gets the ball in. So good job by Syosset. And now in the final minute of the first half, the Braves will look to tie the score again. Thankfully, we've got some cloud coverage. Certainly makes it easier to see those numbers now. We know that's 4 in Stadler. Goes up top. That's where Alexander is inverted. He goes to Nicky Accardo. 22 seconds left. Here's Alexander again. He has the pole and Staub. Spins. Double come. Spins out of it. And that shot went wide. Good recognition by Alexander. And they'll add some more time on the clock. It continued to run when the ball went out of bounds. Should be about 10 seconds. But good recognition there by Alexander, too, where he spun outside of that double team. Of course, if he spun in, then he'd be in all kinds of trouble. So it did put 10 seconds left, and Syosset has a chance for the last. Again, it's kind of forced in front. Ground ball picked up. Low shot by Alexander was wide, and that does it for the first half. So it was Garden City who raced ahead. They had a 3-0 lead. Syosset chipped away to tie before Ryan Connolly scored his second goal of the first half to give Garden City the 4-3 halftime lead. We'll get you some halftime stats and maybe some highlights as well. You're watching this League One crossover matchup on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
That was McCarthy. He's got. Oh, he's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale!
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside!
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you back to Garden City. Just about set for the start of the second half. The Trojans with a 4-3 lead. Somewhere in there is, or will be, Cole Weber, who has been our de facto stat keeper as he rehabs from an injury. So we thank Cole for these stats that we were able to get. And you can see how even things have been, right? 4 saves for Greco and 3 for Quinn. The ground balls, 2 advantage there for Garden City. Neither team able to cash in on their only man-up opportunity. The shots are even as well. Face-offs, just 1 is the edge for Cascadin. So all of those stats are really as even as you could expect them to be. And the score is right there as well. Just a 1-goal advantage as we head back to the face-off X. We have a terrific lineup of games. We'll show you to that at our first time out. It just continues almost every day. Cascadin gets the win, corrals the ball. And again, a little bit of a trouble for Garden City, but Schmidt stepped in, and now the Trojan can go back to work with a 1-goal lead. And the ball on the carpet again. Catolo with the ground ball. Hands off, and here come the Braves. Spinning, but losing the ball. Battle for the loose one. Both teams vying for it. Can Seal get it? Won't matter. It's a failure to advance. So it will be Syosset's ball off of that. Credit Staub there to create the turnover, getting a piece of Jack Hine to dislodge that ball. And there's Bobby Seal. Heading off to Luke Schmidt. Schmidt coming off a fantastic football season as the quarterback. Good fake, uses Seal. Double comes, works it to X. Quick move there, low shot. Wide of the mark by Downey. And Connolly there for the backup. There's Downey, the feed, shot, and Greco sees it right into his stick. A great save by Greco. His 5th. Here come the Braves. Can they get something unsettled? And no, they'll get into their offense. Alexander to Boetti. Up top to Accardo. Both goalies have been great. 5th save there for Greco. 3 for Quinn. And look at the Garden City defense just As soon as the dodge came right into the teeth of the defense, it took it away. And now they struggle on attack. Both teams struggling. Catolo with the shoulder barge, and the ball goes out. It'll be Syosset ball. Neither team necessarily as crisp as they would like on attack. Both battling hard, though. Nice swim dodge for Stadler to avoid a pair of Garden City players at midfield, and the Braves able to get the clear. There's Di Stefani. He will look to run down the alley. He shoots the ball, has the ability to re-dodge and come back to his left if he wants. Alexander, the double comes again. Alexander forces one inside. Staub looking for the ground ball. He gets it. Good look to Quinn, who spins. And here comes Archer. Archer looks to push. Gets in. And he hands off as Garden City will look to get on the attack. Good job there by Pierce Archer. Archer and DeLuca, the two primary short stick D middies. A Franklin and Marshall commit. One of the captains as well. He was part of that team a couple years ago. Did a good job there. He takes pretty good care of that middle of the field. He also has 3 goals as well. Here's Fennell. Goes low, and there's the goal. Actually, no, Connolly was in the crease, so call off the goal. Fennell had the pass, but Connolly fell into the crease, so he called that one back. And a turnover for Garden City now. It's Connolly again. He's got a pair of goals. The only player in this game with 2. And Greco again with the save, this time denying Downey. So the goalies have starred here today, as both teams have kind of stuttered a little bit in their attack. Here's Stadler. Stadler, that great lacrosse IQ. You could say that of so many players, really from both teams. Now they look to dodge. Head down, turning to the left. And again, the pass off the dodge is just not connecting today. There's Alexander. Again, the sun could certainly be a factor. Quick spin from X, Alexander. Lefty shot, Quinn makes the save. The 4th save of the game for Quinn. Another look. And Quinn able to see that one the entire way. 5:49 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Low-scoring affair. Generally speaking, that favors Garden City. They like to play tight, low-scoring games. Here's Seal. And Fennell will just hand back to Seal. They'll play catch up top. Seal, the soccer star. Head down. He's harassed. Loses it. Gets it back. That's some great defensive work there by Nick Accardo. Stays, though, with Garden City. as Downey was harassed by Singer. They'll go the other side, the Trojans. Fennell pushes it back out, and again, a pass, it looked like in defeat, results in this scrum. Who wants it? It's loose. It stays with Garden City. And Seal will look to start again. Dodge from up top on Catolo. You see the play called out. Downey, the attackman, now inverted. And he is calling out where he wants guys to go. So a switch as Fennell comes off and Connolly back on. He's got the ball now. Connolly will get the shorty matchup. You figure he wants to exploit that. He looks to Seal. Falls, slips, still has it. It's loose. Downey gets the GB. Works it now from X. And again, Garden City just rotating guys in against this Syosset defense that's been on together here defending for a few minutes now. Garden City will try again. Connolly sets the screen, a little pick and pop action. And he gets it right back. Looks to dodge from X. Spins, turns, fires, and another save by Greco. His 7th of the game. And another chance now for Syosset. Here you see that last save by Greco, and another pass just off the mark. And it's funny, it's not it's not just like a Syosset or a Garden City thing. You're seeing it from both teams. Archer lowers the shoulder, gets lane. Here comes Archer. And good job affecting that shot by Singer. Archer had a lane, and he went to fire, and watch 21 in black, Singer, right there, come in and get in on the hands. Affects that shot, ball out towards midfield. And it was an over and back, so it'll be Syosset ball with 2:02 left in this third quarter. No goals scored yet in this third quarter, so from an offensive perspective, we've kind of regressed, if you will. You've had 5 goals in the first quarter, 2 in the second, none yet in this third quarter. There's DiStefani. Had a solid game in that loss to Cold Spring Harbor. Part of that first midfield unit with Nick Accardo and Dylan Stadler. You can see Alexander just trying to find different ways to impact the game. Generally speaking, he's out at X, but we could see there he pushed out. Now he's going to work towards the crease as he kind of quarterbacks from there, pointing out where Accardo should go. Under a minute left in this third quarter. It's been fast moving, but no goals yet in this quarter. It's out to Nick Accardo. Turns around, takes a glance at the clock, which reads 37 seconds. He gets the pass back from Adam Giovinco. Giovinco, a sophomore, his 2 older brothers, part of this Syosset program, so he's a legacy guy. Andrew at Stony Brook and Alex will be at Jacksonville. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Little stutter step. Good defending as well. Accardo hands off. Alexander spins. It's DiStefani. Shoulder down, behind the back, off the bar. And Staub just fires down off the ground ball. And that does it for the third quarter. DiStefani goes flashy and nearly got it. But the post is the goalie's best friend. 12 minutes to go here in this League One crossover showdown. It's Garden City with a 4-3 lead on Syosset. Fourth quarter when we return on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
That was McCarthy. He's got. He's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside!
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. One of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
We welcome you back to Garden City. 12 minutes remaining. Here's a quick glance at our upcoming schedule. You see some fantastic games. We're going to go back-to-back, so really from this game, you could just stay watching. You can see that Farmingdale Southside game, and when we get a timeout later in this quarter, we'll show you that graphic again in our upcoming games. Some good ones as well. Long Beach Garden City. Bayport Blue Point on Saturday against West Islip. That should be a lot of fun. The only face-off since the third quarter, and the third quarter only had one. So two face-off wins in the second half both go to Cascadon. That's what happens when you don't get goals scored. You don't get face-offs then. Connolly, he's got half of the Trojans' offensive production to this point with 2 goals. And at this rate, you figure first to 7 wins. A big one for both teams. Here comes the dodge. Great job defensively by Accardo. He will play both ways, and again, he's the guy who gets dirty and does all the little things that you need to win games. Accardo, too, on the ball there, puts as much emphasis on that side of the ball as he does on the attacking side. He'll have another chance here, but a quick handoff. And a moving pick was called, so we will go the other way. And again, an aggressive or semi-aggressive ride here. Catolo gets over with not much problem. Steps in, hands off, and another opportunity. It feels like we've said it a few times now where Syosset can try to equalize. Alexander from the top this time. He's got Staub on him, turns, goes back to DiStefani. Quick pass into the teeth, and again, seemed like it was forced a bit. Good ground ball picked up by Stadler, though. So they get to attack again. Stadler from up top. Goes to the outside. Quick ball movement this way. Buetti. That shot was wide. A race for the loose ball, and Stadler provides the backup for the Braves. The officials don't want Syosset to move too quickly, so they restart things. Alexander, again, the double comes, which means there'll be an extra pass. Stadler has a lane, goes back to X. Thought he might shoot it there. Nice spinning move by DiStefani, double teamed. Can't get the shot off. It's loose in front of the cage. There's a shot. Looks like Quinn got a piece. Rebound stays, though, with Syosset. DiStefani, low shot. That one was by Garone. And the backup again provided by Stadler. And a timeout was called. We'll take a look again at that graphic of our upcoming games. And then we'll also show you some standings as they affect these teams. Here's a look at our upcoming slate. And we mentioned before, we've got Long Beach Garden City on Friday. Then that go back out to Suffolk County. We had a great one yesterday with Northport defeating Ward Melville. And then it becomes bigger games or certainly conference games as you see Cary Garden City and then Southside and Cary as well. And this slate of games with Port Washington, a team that certainly opened eyes. And we'll take a look at our schedules, or our standings, as I should say. Here's a look at Nassau Conference A. Now, again, you don't play all of these teams. So like a Hicksville is in first, but they're not playing those top-tier teams. Port Washington, a well-deserved 4-0. They are in second with Farmingdale second behind them. You see the struggles early on for Massapequa. And now as we switch the page to Nassau Conference B. And again, they separated these teams. So you see MacArthur, Calhoun, Long Beach. Below them you see Cary, Garden City, and Southside, but they're playing a tougher schedule in this League One. We had that conversation with Mike Hungerford during the Woodstick Classic, and it was a good job by the coaches just to make sure that you have a slate of competitive games throughout. So many of these teams, especially these two, go out and they play a tough regional schedule, whether it's teams from Suffolk or you play some of the Catholics, or in Garden City's case, maybe you play some teams from Maryland or even California. St. Ignatius was on the schedule a couple years ago. Another attempt here. Sidearm shot. Quinn gets another save. Ground ball is loose, and it stays with Syosset. So even though the shots aren't dropping yet, you've got to give credit to Syosset for winning those ground balls in the attacking side of the field. You figure they've got to, at some point, pay off all that effort that they have to win these GBs. Accardo. See the Luca with the pressure. And there's the equalizer. It was coming. And it came from double twos. DiStefani. Another look. DiStefani's second goal. So he also has half of his team's offensive production. And there hasn't been a lot of face-offs, only the two so far, but both in the second half have gone to Cascadon. So this is a big one here for Ricardo. He's sealed off by Cascadon, and that is a no-go. So he's called for interference. You give Ricardo the win And now Syosset, another chance to take their first lead of the game, as it's getting late early here at Garden City. They were down 3-0. They rallied to tie it at 3. Then Garden City had a 4-3 lead. They took that one in the halftime. Neither team scored in the third quarter, and we just saw DiStefani's second goal, which is the second equalizer for Syosset. They tied it at 3, and they've now tied it at 4. They look to dodge from up top. That's Kotler. Just saw his brother compete in the NCAAs for Denver. Brother Lucas went from Yale, went transfer portal, Denver. Buetti's shot affected. And again, they got in. The poles got in on his hands, but the backup was there. 4-4. Double comes on Garone, spins out of it. And there's Stadler. They work it up top. Alexander off the screen. Alexander! Syosset has their first lead of the game. And A.J. Alexander gets his first of the game, 12th on the season. And you see, just works off that pick. Here it comes. Creates the space needed. Gets his momentum. And a terrific finish by the Providence-bound senior. High expectations this year for Alexander, who, along with Buetti, two of the leading scorers for Syosset as sophomores a couple years ago. Cascadin shovels it forward and then barrels over a defender, and he will get called for the foul. Here you see it again. Cascadin is a big dude and just trucks a guy. And you can't do that. So Cascadin will go in. Neither team able to capitalize on a man up. And I believe that's an unreleasable penalty against Cascadin. That certainly appeared to be the motion by the official. So this is a big minute here. Fennell doesn't like the call and lets the officials know it, but a 1-minute penalty against Cascadin, and Syosset, fresh off taking their first lead of the game, now have an opportunity to extend that and get their first man-up goal of the game. They've scored the only 2 goals to this point of the second half, both coming here in this fourth quarter. Alexander with the go-ahead goal right now. There's Luca Cardo. He plays on this man-up unit to Alexander. Now you see some movement off ball. 23 seconds left in the man-up. Luca Accardo is cutting to the middle. And it's now Alexander. 10 seconds. Thought about it. Hand it off. 7 seconds on the man-up opportunity. They've not taken a shot on Cage yet. And they won't with the man up. It goes low, though, and that shot looks like Quinn got a piece. Ground ball scooped up by Staub. Now Garden City with a chance to tie. Here's Archer. Steps in, backs out. Look out as well, because looked like Stadler was going to be there. 4:26 to go. Garden City with their first deficit of the game. Trojans trying to avoid back-to-back defeats after that Woodstick Classic loss to Manhasset. Here's Seal switching to his left, hands off. He gets it back under 4 to go in regulation. Syosset, the only team of these two to play an overtime game, losing in their last one, the Cold Spring Harbor. Spinning around the cage, and another save by Greco, this time robbing Seal. Greco has been the player of the game to this point. Here's another look as Syosset calls timeout. Seal gets a step, spins. The help doesn't come, but Greco doesn't need it. His 8th save of this game. And remember, too, he makes a save end of the first quarter, and he was shaken up a little bit, but he shook that one off and has been stellar. Joey Greco, the senior, a tremendous stopper. We've seen, too, his ability to throw those great outlet passes. And again, he'll play a postgraduate year at IMG Academy. Another look at our upcoming games as they come thick and fast. And again, the way this one is ending, you've got a chance to watch probably a 6 o'clock start, right, this next one. So you could probably go right from this one and just quickly switch over to the Farmingdale game after that. We've got Farmingdale South Side. Matt Shortus on the call for that one. 5-4 the score here. Remember, too, you can subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and then follow us on social media as well. We'll have more games announced. I am not at liberty to tell you what some of those games are, but you could find out probably pretty soon. And we have some great ones coming up into early June. Again, a late start of a season here. And that guy right there has been the man today. So great opportunity here for Syosset. Either you tack on to the lead or you shave off a few minutes, or I guess in a perfect world for Calabria and his guys, you do both. Up top is Nick Accardo. Spins it to Stadler. Stadler tries to work on DeLuca. Backs up, and he's got a great vantage point of that scoreboard because it's that end zone they're shooting at. You can see what that scoreboard says at the bottom of your screen in terms of the time. 2:40 left. Accardo hands back to Stadler. Now Stadler gets on his horse as there's a stall warning, so Syosset has to keep it in. And you can see right now Garden City ratcheting up the defensive pressure. At some point you wonder if Quinn will pop out of his cage as that extra defender. He won't there as Buetti finishes that pass from Accardo, and Syosset extends their lead. So 6-4 Syosset, and here you see it again. Great pass across the crease, and that's one that hasn't been there. You can see Quinn appealing for Buetti being in the crease. That's not called, though, and it's 6-4 with 2:11 left. Huge face-off here, and Cascadon wins it. A must-win face-off there for Garden City. And they need some offense. It's been a very long time since they've scored. You've got to go back to the second quarter when Connolly scored his second to give Garden City the 4-3 lead. It's been 3 unanswered here in this fourth quarter for the Braves. They need 2 to tie. Connolly fires, and a great job by Catolo to affect that shot. You can see quickly now Garden City moving. It's Connolly again. Looks to hand off. That shot off the pipe by Seal. It'll be a push on Singer, so we'll stay here with 1:26 left. Can Garden City get one past Greco? They've not done so in a while. Greco again! Another save for Greco. Could that one seal this game? 10 on the game for Greco. Here come the Poles. And here comes a turnover. Trojans look to push. Pole goal! Staub! And it's a one-goal game, 46 seconds left. So it looked like things were helter-skelter and falling apart. And then Staub said, give me the ball, I'll take care of things. You see him there, 32. Quick catch and release. Staub's second goal of the year. And here we go. The biggest face-off of the game. The fans from both teams recognize that. It's been tight from X. Cascadin pushes forward. And we've got a hold. We'll stay with Garden City. 42 seconds left. The Trojans a chance to tie. Archer steps in. Here's Seal on the other side. Seal gets to X. Connolly can't fire. Bounces it to X. That's where Downey is. 19 seconds. A flag on the play on Singer. Here's Seal. Save. So 13.4 seconds left. And a chance now for Garden City to tie the game with a man up. You see the push from behind, and Singer not liking the call. Calabria the same. So you can see the call. And I think we've got two actually against Syosset. I think they got the push first, but it looked to be a slash motion as well. Calabria not happy. We'll see it again. Right now there's 5 defenders out for Syosset. Greco having the conversation with the official. So here we go, 6 on 5, and it is it's 2 infractions. They just put the second one on the board, so it's a 30-second and then a 1 minute, but it'll be 6 on 5. $19 seconds left. So you had the push first, as now Fennell calls a timeout. So they called the push first, and then the slash came in. So we did see that slashing motion by the official. And we see it again here. Here's where the push comes. And then there's a slash as well. So 2 penalties. Well, and then now they take the first one off the board. So it's just a 1 minute right now on the scoreboard, and now both are off. So they're kind of working things out, I think, like at the scorer's table. Regardless, we do know, and now they put 90 seconds up. I think it should still be it's 2 separate penalties, even though it's a total of 90 seconds. So 19 seconds left here for Garden City to tie. Now, if they do so, you would say, since there were 2 penalties, that the first one, again, if Garden City scores, the first one gets knocked out, and then you would still have an opportunity to be man up in overtime. Of course, that could all be moot if Greco comes up with some more heroics here for Syosset. 19 seconds left. Patty Gavin with the ball. 14, Gavin hands off. Shot, and there he is again. Greco, the heroics, just flings the ball downfield. 3 seconds. It's loose. Staub just fires one downfield. It won't matter. Joey Greco has the Superman cape on today for Syosset. Wills his team to the win. You figured he'd get a save late as well. He did. He's mobbed by his teammates, and for good reason. Greco was huge in the cage for Syosset as the Braves bounce back from an 11-10 overtime loss to Cold Spring Harbor, and they defeat Garden City 6-5. What a performance by Joey Greco in the cage. 11 saves on the game for Greco. And the game-winning goal was scored by Buetti, that 6-4 goal. So Syosset improves to 4-1. They get the response that they were hoping for. They next go to Calhoun on Wednesday before they are home for Herrick's on Monday. Garden City falls to 2-3. They take on Long Beach at home on Friday before that game against Cary on Monday, and we'll see those games as well as many more coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network. There you see our upcoming games. As that's a nice shot as well we had from the. Finally, we got some cloud coverage here on a day where there is so much sun and glare on the fields. I feel like I should give some sort of weather forecast with that look from above that our camera guys are giving us. But that'll do it here from Garden City. For Dan Lippenholtz and Matt McCower Brown, for the mayor of Seaford, Nick Louisi, I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you again for joining us. And hey, check out that Farmingdale Southside game. That's starting up in a matter of minutes. And again, we've got all those games for you coming up as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We will see you at the next one. And again, remind you, the final score, Syosset 6 and Garden City 5. Have a good day, everyone.